Hiya folks, I've decided to make the start on Sharon's personal lawnmower. I've dug out this old yellow one. It's got a Briggs & Stratton Classic 35 engine on. It is a self-drive mower, so it's a bit rusty and a bit naff, but let's see what we can do with it. Let's start taking it apart and preparing it. I'll see you in a minute. Here we go, this is it. I found this one in the polytunnel as I've been clearing it out. Now it's in a bit of a state, as you can see. I don't know, in fact I don't even remember buying this one, but it looks pretty solid, although it's covered in rust on the side there. It's not actually perforated at all by what I can see so far. The wheels have got plenty of tread on them, so I'm quite happy with that. It's got the old reliable Briggs & Stratton Classic 35 engine on, as you know. I managed to find a grass bag for it, which I've got one of many, as you can probably see over there. And I think this is going to be the one I'll pimp up for her. It is a self-drive model. I've checked the self-drive out by rolling it forward and rolling it back and then engaging the drive, and it still rolls forward, but when you go to roll it back it obviously locks on, which is what it's supposed to do. I've pulled it over, but it doesn't start obviously. The carb tends to prime, and it seems to pull over all right. So let's get this in the workshop now. Start taking it apart, and we'll take it from there. Right, okay, so first of all, I want to basically see if we can get it running first of all before I start doing any work on it. So let's get it up on the table here. Take the grass box off. Run it away, Barney. I'm going to work outside because it's warmer out here than in the workshop, believe it or not. So let me spin it round and get it up on the workbench. Right, okay, let's have a bit of a better look at it. Well, as you can probably see, there's loads of paint missing off of it. It appears solid though, so I'm not too worried about the deck itself. The other side's pretty much similar. It's got these strong brackets on it. I don't know what make this one is. A dynamic, whatever that is. Right, I've got it tipped back now. I'm looking for signs if it's hit anything. Now, I know it's not going to start, but I will take that off anyway. We did try to start it in a different video on my Butler's Empire channel the other day. So let's just try and turn the blade around. And I'm looking for equal gaps down the side of the blade there. And it looks to be okay. Front and back, yep, it looks to be okay there. So I'm happy with that. It's got loads of rubbish underneath. It has got a cover on the drive belt, which I'm happy with. It's definitely been well used, as you can see. Look, it's got all this compacted grass around there. So I'm not going to do nothing underneath there yet. The blade doesn't look like it's been hit or bashed in any way, although it is well worn and we need sharpening. That's not a problem. So let's bring it forward. So I'm not going to service the engine yet. All I'm going to do, so I just want to get it running first of all. So I'm going to check if it's got a spark first of all, because it might be a dodgy plug. It has got fuel in it, but again, I don't know how long it's been there. So let's see if we've got a spark. Right, so I've got my little spark plug tester out now. Let's just put that on top of the spark plug and whack that in there. Right, so let me turn it around a bit so I can pull it over. There we go, like that. Right, let me just get that handle out of there. We don't need that up there at the moment. I want to be near to the engine. I need to clamp up the brake. Right, I've just got a cable tie around there for the moment. I'll just bring that up, just makes holding that off a little bit easier. Put that up there like that. Now, you may not be able to see this, but I'll be able to see if it does spark. Right, there is no spark there, so I will put another plug in there. Now, I haven't done anything to this, as you know. I did press this the other day and it was priming, so it has got some sort of fuel in it. Let's have a little look. Very yellow, but it is fuel in there. So what I'm going to do is literally just put another plug in, or we'll see if we've got a spark. Right, so I've got a B2LM, and this probably hasn't been out for yonks, so let's just see how tight it is. Oh, it's okay, it's not too bad. So providing it runs and it runs smooth, we should be okay. Well, it smells like fuel's getting through to it, so hopefully it's just the plug that's breaking down. So let's get a new plug. These come pretty much gapped from new anyway, so you're looking at probably 28 to 30 thou on these spark plugs anyway. All right, there we go. I'll just do another visual check while I'm here. And now we'll just give it another little pull. Right. Right, it's still not sparking. So, there is a problem with the ignition circuit. It could be the kill switch, so I'm going to have to investigate this a bit further by taking off the recoil cover, because there is a cable that comes from the coil that goes round to the switch at the back here, and that could be damaged or caught under the flywheel, causing it to short out. 3 10mm or 3/8 bolts that hold this cover on. Okay, I've got one of these. I keep forgetting to use it. As you can see, they hold all your screws. So that's that one there. You've got one at the front and one the other side by the exhaust. Right, let's drop that in there. We should be able to lift this cover off now. Probably not been off for a while. Now this cable here, now look at the rubbish in there, look at that. Wow, that's terrible. There's the cable there that goes round to our kill switch at the back there. And sometimes, as I say, these can get caught under the flywheel there. And if that shorts down to, call it earth or ground, any part of the metal, you won't get a spark. So that's just something else to look for. Sometimes people route these the wrong way. So I'm just going to take the rear cover off there, also take the carb off there, give me a bit of space here, and I'll also just clean this rubbish out so we can see what we're left with. Right, okay, let's just drop this air filter off. As I say, this lawnmower has probably been outside for years and years, and I probably bought it, but I don't remember buying it. Well, that's pretty clean, so that's a good sign. The springs are pretty much okay, although they're not fully okay, to be honest with you. They've been played about with. They've been a bit stretched. That one is, for example, look, someone's tried to alter the speed of it. So, yeah, there might be a slight issue there. That's not really too bothered about that, though, but as I say, this is the coil cable, which should be giving us our high voltage. That's another thing to look for as well, if they're corroded inside. This one doesn't seem to be. So I'm just going to remove that 1/4 inch bolt, and then we'll have a look under there as well. Right, okay, let's just get that in there. Undo that, like that. Just remove that. Let me just go and check, get a meter, and I'll just check if that's shorting out or not. So right, I've got my meter here. I'm going to put that onto ohms. Yeah, right, okay. So that cable there, when that's in the open position, that handle, when the handle's pulled up, which it is now, that cable which terminates up here shouldn't be shorting down to the chassis. It shouldn't be, but it is. So I'm just going to take that handle off and leave it in its normal down position. Come back over here, and that cable now is still shorting down, if you can see that. I don't think you can see that, can you? So somewhere down the line, that should be shorting down now, that cable down to earth. That would stop the mower from running. But when I pull that lever up there and it takes the brake off, it should also open up this contact here, which you probably can't see properly, and that then should allow the mower to run. But it's not, it's still shorting down. So between here, along this cable here, onto that terminal there, somewhere it is shorting down, and that is our problem, why it's not starting. So even though I'm pulling the handle up, that cable is still shorting down. So bringing that up again, as I've shown you, locking that on, should now open this contact, so that when I hold that down to earth, it should be open, but it's not. It's still shorted down to earth, which is why we've got no spark. So that's what I've got to sort out now. And I can basically see that the switch is opening, because that's the contact here, you see. This is the contact there. We see that little metal line there. That's where that rubs on and shorts that down when you shut the handle. So I know that's okay. So between here, as I said, around this cable, where it goes to the coil, it is shorting down somewhere. So that's what I'm going to find out now. See, I could have left that old plug in to test, and I probably will do for the moment, just to prove a point, because you get so many people say, Oh, parts changing, people. Oh, yeah, put a new plug in, put a new plug in. So I'll actually take that plug out, that new one. Although I will be putting it in, I just want to prove a point to you that parts changers aren't really fault finders, if you know what I mean. They just change parts until they find something that works. So let's put that old one back in. I've not even gapped it or whatever, so I'm just going to put that old one back, straight back in. I only put the plug in just as a trial because I had a spare one there. But I'm not a parts changer, you see, I'm a fault finder. So I've got to undo these 2 1/4 inches up here to get that coil off. So that one holds the weather vane on, as you can see. I call it a weather vane. It's not. Well, it is a weather vane really, but let's just get that out of the way. And the second one here, which could be a bit tighter. No, that's all right actually. Right, so there's our little screw there. Now let's just lift this up. Now again, I'm looking for signs of this cable to short out. So that's where it connects on there. Look at the crap in there, look. Now, if I disconnect that now, let's get that coil out of the way. Look, can you see that's the coil there? So I'm going to put that just to one side for the minute. Right, so before I go any further, I just want to clean some of this crap away so I can see if there's any damaged cable or whatever. So just give me a minute and I'll just clean all this up for you. Right, okay, I've given this a good clear out now, a nice clean down. As you can see, our cable route is all away from where it should be. I've cleaned the back switch there, so the cable goes and hooks up there onto the back of the switch. So what I'm going to do is test whether this circuit here is now working correctly. Don't forget, we had the short down all the time on this cable, stopping the spark. So let me just check it now. So I'm going to engage the safety switch, which should short out basically. So I'm going to put the handle back in its normal position when the lawnmower is not running. And this cable here, I don't know if you can see that, can you? This reading now should short out. So that's what we get when we get a short out. As you can see, look, it goes basically down to 0. So when I put that in there, in that terminal onto the coil and touch the flywheel, that should go down to 0, which it does. That means that the handle is in the shorted out position, which stops the spark from happening. So what I'm going to do now is take off the safety device, so to speak. In other words, open that switch up, and that should allow me to have a spark then. So that's as if we're holding the handle ready to start. So I've just tied that handle up. Come back down to our 2 terminals, and we're looking for this not to change. Stay an open circuit. As I said to you before, when they touch, that's a short circuit. When they open, it basically opens up circuit. So I'm going to put that back in there now, into that terminal there. Touch the flywheel, and we should see that not change at all. There we go. So that now would allow the spark or the coil to energize, and that would produce a spark. So that proves now that this is seen after a good clean up. It could have just been filth and dirt. So I'm going to put the old coil back on now, and then we'll check for spark. And again, as you can probably see there, I've cleaned all that up. So all that gunk that was around there is now missing. That just hooks straight underneath onto that terminal, into there like that. These then sit on here again. I'm going to need to gap this as well. So, right, so this is our little weather vane, what I call, and I'm just going to hook that spring back in now. And that locates through there like that. Now I'm just getting the screws in first of all. So much nicer working when everything's clean. Many a time I've put this weather vane on, I call it a weather vane, and the springs jumped out. So just make sure that it operates freely still. So I'm not tightening them right down yet. I want them still to be able to move backwards and forwards for the moment till I get the gap correct between the flywheel. And the way I do that is just get a bit of card. Normally a playing card is a good idea. You'll have your purists out there saying, oh, you need to use that certain thou and all that, but this always works. So put that around there, turn the magnets round until they grasp onto the flywheel, like they've just done there now, and then tighten your screws up. When you tighten these up, just nip them up. You ain't got to go too mad with them, they're only slight threads on them. Take your card out, there we go. Now your flywheel is gapped, and also making sure that your mechanism and your flap are working correctly. Right, okay, so I'm just going to put my little tester back onto the spark plug. Don't forget, I'm still using the old spark plug here. Put that on there like that. And because I don't really want to go to the hassle of putting the pull cord on at the moment, I'm just going to get the old drill and give this a spin round and see if I've got a spark now. Which we have. We've now got a spark. So between that wire and the coil, there was obviously something touching down to earth or stopping the spark, even though we had the handle pulled up. We've now got a spark there now, so I'm just going to take that off. Now don't forget that we didn't have a spark before, so we've now got a spark now, so let's put that over there. Now I'm going to try and prime it again. Again, this is old fuel in here. I'm not going to put the top on. If I do start it, I'm going to try and start it with the drill. So let's get this off the table now and see if we can get it to fire and run. Right, get that on the deck. Before I do fire it, if it will fire, I just want to again make sure it's got oil in it first. Yep, it's got oil in it. It's got oil up to the mark actually, so that's fine. So, go on, go away. Right, so I've just squirted some fuel into it. I've got the safety mechanism off. Go away, Barney. Go on, off you go. Go on, he's deaf. Go on, away, 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 away. Barney, away. So, this fuel's probably no good, so let's try it anyway. Right, nope, don't want to know. Let's try some easy start now. Now, all I'm looking for is for it to fire. That's all I want. That fuel may have been no good. Although it's getting in there, it might not have been any good. This is volatile, I know, so it should kick. Maybe not run, but it'll kick. Right, okay, let's try that. All I'm looking for is for it to fire. There you go. Running a bit fast, but someone's been messing about with the springs, as I said to you. So we didn't have spark. We had a fault with the coil at the back. It was probably due to all that rubbish underneath, as I said to you. So we've cured that, and I'm still running with the old plug. So we didn't just do a parts change like what quite a few people do. They just change parts until they find the right thing. That's what happens with people with modern cars nowadays. These spring tensions are not correct. Someone has actually wound that on there a bit more. So if I just release that a little bit, let's try that down now and down there now. I've just loosened that spring a little bit, and we'll just try and start it up now on its own fuel. So I'll put the safety bracket off again. Right, just run it on its own fuel if we can. So again, 1, 2, 3. Right, happy days. Let's get it inside, get it on the workbench, get it stripped down. What's that noise over there? Look at Jimmy on the roof, look. Hello, Mummy, look where Jimmy is, look. How are you, all right? Come on, let's have a look at Jimmy, look. Jimmy's up on the roof, Mummy, look. Getting all that moss off over the years, look. He's been barking, Barney.
Ah, bless him.
I've got your lawnmower. I'm just starting to strip it down. I've been working on it, got it going.
No
and
parcel, sorry.
No, and what colours do you want it, baby? What do you want it done to it?
I've got to go phone.
Right, here it is. This is your lawnmower, believe it or not. It may not look much at the moment.
It's horrendous.
So what are you wanting done to it, baby? What colour? What's your colour scheme, baby?
Can I have these done a different colour?
You can have them whatever you like.
Chrome.
Chrome?
Chrome. And let me get the other colour.
Well, that's actually a one piece. Will that go in with powder coating oven? I'm not too sure, Sharon.
It does.
Well, let's get the tape measure out. Hold on. Normally these come in 2 pieces, as you well know, but this is a one-piece jobby.
Wouldn't it?
35 inches. Will that go in there? No, unfortunately.
It's not on an angle.
Yeah, but it's hanging it up, Sharon. I might be able to get it on an angle. 35 inches.
But how would you get it in there on an angle?
Well, I'd have to hang it from an angle, wouldn't I? No, it ain't going to go in there.
I'm not happy about
Well, I'll test it. I'll see if it does. If it does, you can have them chrome. If not, what colour?
Well, it won't be happening, will it?
If you
It
can't
won't go
get
in there.
chrome, what colour?
What colours have I got to choose from?
Well, how many colours are there in the rainbow, baby?
Well, this is the colour I want for here.
Right, what you got there? What colour's that?
Duck egg.
Duck egg blue.
It's a soothing colour.
Eh?
I don't want all this pink. I know I'm a girl, but I don't really want pink.
You're not a girl, lady. You're a lady. Right, so you want duck egg blue on the deck.
Yeah.
Right, okay. You want the handles.
Chrome, if possible.
If we can't get chrome, then what colour? Because I'll have to paint them, you see.
Cream.
Cream?
Soothing mower.
Right, and you wanted some graphics on here, didn't you?
My baby.
What? Barney?
I would have liked all my dogs I'd had, but
You want a picture? Sit down. She wants a picture of you
Because I love him so much. And he gives me so much joy.
on the lawnmower.
Why you give me joy?
Yeah. Right, so what are you going to want them round the outside or what? I don't know.
We don't need that horrible thing on it.
No,
I
well,
want
the
him
shower,
there.
this is all being stripped off,
I
baby.
want him there.
Just Barney on there, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay. It's in a bit of a state, I know. And what about the, if you're having duck egg blue on there, what about the wheel trims? I've got wheel trims on there.
Oh.
I thought you could have had pictures in the middle of the wheel trims.
Yeah, Duke, Duchess, Bison and Peaches.
Duke, Duchess, Bison and
All my
Peaches.
pets that we've had while we've lived here.
Right. Right, I've got my work cut out, folks.
It's a pet friendly
Hey?
pet friendly mower.
Pet friendly mower. Right.
What's going to go? The bright, that really, look, I'll show you.
Well, you got the engine cover, Sharon. Yeah, wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there. You've also got, look, the engine cover, which is going to sit on there, look. Like that. Hold on. She's found the powder coating corner. What's that? High chrome. That's the chrome, that is.
See, I did think I was going to originally go that, but then I thought, no,
What for?
If,
Well, hold it next to that. That's not going to go with that,
no,
is it?
because I thought, no, I was going to have the base. Then I thought, oh no, I'll have all the wasps and things after.
Oh, you will do, yeah. You don't want,
so-
in actual fact, yes, that's a good idea. You don't want that.
No.
So you've got other colours there. There are some different colours underneath here.
I think we might actually go
That's titanium,
silver.
satin silver, that is. So where are you going to want the satin silver
on
then?
there.
On the rocker cover, on the cover.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Right, okay. Fuel tank will stay black, I think. Right.
You're the mower king.
Eh?
You're the mower king.
I'm not. There's a few
oh,
other
no, sorry, the mower god. The mower god.
complimenting me, baby, will get you everywhere.
Where's compliment you? Come here. What is it?
What is it?
Gone now. Bit of grease. or
Right.
something.
Well, I'm going to strip this down on time lapse, and you better go and make me a cup of tea, baby. Hey?
Yeah, okay.
Off you go, baby. This is a man's workshop. What's that mean?
I come in here and pinch loads of things.
Do you?
Yeah.
When I'm not about?
No, I do. We were on the office editing your videos.
Right. Go on. Off you go then.
Okay, then. Goodbye.
Right, there we go. All stripped down now. As you can see, the deck's in a bit of a state. There's a blinking massive spider that crawled out of there. I don't know where it's gone. It's in here somewhere. But anyway, deck's stripped down. Here's all the parts. As you can see, that's the axle there. That's going to need some attention, obviously. I will take the wheels off. All this will be refurbished in its own time. The engine there, as you can see, all the casings, the exhaust has all got to come off. I'm not too sure whether or not I'm going to paint that a different colour. That might just stay black, the engine. I'm not too sure. There's the engine cover there. She wants that sprayed, possibly silver. There's all the other ancillary bits there we've taken off. As you can see, it's all stripped down, ready for refurbishment and repaint. Well, this may be a three-parter. I'm not too sure yet. Let's just turn that over. It's solid. It's pretty solid, as I say. It looks okay. When was the date of manufacture on it? It's an Italian mower, apparently. 1999. There you go. It's a blinking old one. 1999. 09, 19. It's 21 years old. And normally Italian metalwork rusts a lot, doesn't it? But this is obviously a lot thicker than the normal ones. So it was back when they used to make them out of better material back then. So that's probably why this one hasn't perforated. Anyway, thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed this first video in Sharon's refurbished lawnmower. I've got to work out on designs on it. She wants it duck egg blue, as I said to you, but I've got to get some pictures of our dogs as well to go on it. So anyway, if you do like my videos, do have a check out of my other playlist where I've got loads of lawnmower repair videos, car repair videos, family vlogs, or look at my other channel, which is Retro Hacks. And what else have I got? Butler's Empire. That's another one of our channels where normally I film sort of behind the scenes stuff of what I'm normally up to. So you might see a bit of other stuff when I'm doing these restorations. You might see a bit of other sort of stuff on there as well. That's on Butler's Empire. I'll leave the links in the description below for you. And also don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you haven't been here before and you do like my videos. And also ring that little notification bell, that little grey bell next to the subscribe button, and then set your preferences to all, and that way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. Anyway, thanks very much. See you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.